What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How y'all doing out there in Fish Tank Land? This is Joseph Harden from JH Aquatics, and of course, this is my Super Sunday live stream. I hope everything's working well. Let me go over here and check out the chat and see what's going on. I've been playing around with this and sweating trying to make it work. I don't know. It's been acting up on me a little bit. Daryl Demmer, first in the chat. How are you? DPK, what is up? Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you up in here as well. Oh, what am I doing with the lights? There we go. There we go. Trying to bring up the lights a little bit. I was rushing around because I was filming. And I was like, oh, I looked at the clock. I was like, I need to be starting my stream like 3 minutes ago. So here I am. And then I just realized that my other mouse, I poured evil Mountain Dew all over my mouse on accident the other evening, and I haven't touched it since then. I cleaned up all the other mess. I didn't realize I got so much on the mouse, and it's sticking and acting funny on my other computer. So that was like, you know, that's just how it is. When you're ready to rock and roll, there's always something that's going to throw a wrench in everything. Anyways, good to see you all in here. Cichlid King Aquatics, Reels Tanks, how are you? I got your shirt coming, your next shirt. I got a pile of shirts now. I got another shirt. This one was like the first one that I ordered for. I don't know why all my shirts from Teespring, they always smell like white vinegar, like from the ink. It's like a, oh boy, it stinks until you wash it. It's from Teespring, but I got the shirt here. But this is an extra large. I misread your text, and I got an extra large instead of a double XL, so I had to order another one. Now I got a double XL coming. So I guess I'm gonna have to do a giveaway for specifically for a extra large shirt. On top of that, I also have a medium as well that I have in a box ready to go and be shipped, and I just don't know who it's for. Maybe I'll just keep it and I'll wear it. That's what size I wear. Anyways, it's good to see you guys in here. But Turbos Fish, what's up? MHow9, how are you? Good to see you in here. Oh, Don Gallagher, what is up? Let's see. HC Aqua, Jesse in the house. Good to have you in here. DPK, thank you for playing around with your graphics. If most of you might have noticed, I've been having some goofy, funny graphics lately. That's compliments to DPK. Compliments of DPK. He's been messing around. My thumbnail for this live stream was that little Super JH Aquatics was he put that together. He likes to have fun with that stuff. It's pretty cool. Anyways, let's see. Teresa Cookie, how are you? Good to see you in here. Mad Tanks, Andrew, what is up? Oh boy, everybody's up in here. The cat doesn't want to let me alone. I'm sitting here talking, so the cat wants to be like right here. Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking so much and so loud? Oh boy, what are you doing? Just you're being a little punk. I'm trying to do a live stream. What is up? What is up, Booger? She's like, what is going on? What's up with all the lights? What's up with all the lights? Anyways, good to see you guys up in here. I really do appreciate it. I do have some new fish. Not new fish. Well, I have new fish from last week. I have an unboxing of that coming out tomorrow. But I also do have some babies from my Apistogramma rubelliniatus, which are in the 29-gallon bow face right back here. I do have babies from them, and they're just becoming free swimmers today, and I have a camera on them right now, so you guys can check that out. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that here in a little bit, and you guys can get a real nice close-up shot. I did put a little bit of micro worms. Actually, they are banana worms, and I have those in there with them right now. Just a little bit. I have noticed some of them that are free swimming enough are starting to consume them a little bit. I may have put in too many. You know, there's a tiny bit, but it's still. I'll have to pull them out at the end of the day. I'll have to do a little vacuuming, a little mini vacuuming with the eyedropper and clean that up. You know what, kitty cat? I'm gonna have to like put you down here, and you're gonna have to hang out down there. That's what you're gonna have to do because I need to focus. Oh boy, it's good to see everybody up in here. Carbon Really, how are you? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I am trying to get ready for the holidays, trying to do some Christmas shopping and all that good stuff. It's good to see everybody up in here though. Leilani, how are you? Good to see you in here. Let's see. What else was I gonna show you guys? I had something else. It's not who am I I'm missing people. Let's see. Anyways, I do have a video for you guys too. I did a little bit of an editing of a video just recently for somebody else for a fish store that I had visited, and he asked me to hook him up and make him a little bit of a video, and so it's like for their website, so it's kind of like a commercial. It's kind of, I'm sorry, I'm taking notes here. Sorry about that. It's kind of a little bit of a commercial for his website. So that's going to be a fun one. I'll share that with you guys as well. Science Gal Aquatics, how are you? Priscilla MK Arts, what's up? How are you doing? Let me see who else. Did I miss anybody in here? Let me scroll through here. Oh, I always miss because of your screen name, your channel name. It always gets me, and I should be used to it by now. But Leona, how are you? Good to see you up in here. Really appreciate you popping in. I've been watching some of your videos lately. You got like really nerdy techie stuff, and I do enjoy that stuff. I don't know anything about half of those machines and stuff that you work with, but it's cool. I still end up watching it because it's nerdy stuff, and I can get it. Let's see. Let me get to the bottom of the chat. Superior Guppy, how are you? Nope, Cat, you don't get to go on the desk. That's the one thing. She can chill on my lap, but she doesn't get to go on the desk. Did I lose my freedom? Yes, the boss is back, I guess. Yeah, I kind of lost my freedom. I messed up on my live stream, I guess, too. I had it set for yesterday. I didn't pay attention to the date, and when I set I set it up yesterday, right, and posted it, and I guess I'd set it up for the 8th and not the 9th. So that was kind of a bummer. I just noticed that just now when I went in to set it up and get it going. So I hope that kind of would probably bum me. That probably affected some of my viewers for this Sunday. It was nice to see Priscilla. Priscilla did a little bit of a stream earlier today. I kind of missed Dee. I don't know if she did hers or not. I don't remember seeing. I didn't get a notification for it. But I was hustling today trying to film, so I think I missed Dee from Down the Wormholes, her normal stream at 12 o'clock. What else? Who else is doing this? Someone at 8 o'clock tonight? Oh, I was trying to look at it on my phone. There's a couple things coming up. Today. A couple people doing some live streams. And I did have some like mental notes. I'm totally drawing a blank now. There's a couple people that have meet some goals, 1,000 subscribers, things like that. Oh, and I can't even think of who it was right now. That someone just hit 1,000 subs. Let's see. Good to see you guys here though. Cichlid King Aquatics. So yeah, I'm really excited to have some babies. I'm trying to keep this food alive. I'm having a little bit of a problem. I feel like just trying to get this consistency right of trying to follow a technique that somebody else is doing, and I'm having a little bit of a problem following their technique. I've kept microworms alive and grindle worms and stuff like that for months and months and months and months without a problem. But this technique, for some reason, is causing me a problem, and I'm still ending up with a little bit of water in the substrate. You know, that you're keeping the worms in. It's with old-fashioned oats. I've always just used powdered oatmeal and no yeast. I always try to stay away from the yeast. Someone had told me that the oatmeal is just substrate. They don't eat that. They eat the yeast. Without the yeast, they're not going to be healthy. I don't know about that. But anytime I add yeast, the culture crashes. I end up creating some alcohol. You know, it ends up just fermenting, like insane fermentation. And so I'm really frustrated with that, to be completely honest. But I've been trying to follow somebody else's advice, telling me that that yeast is very, very important, that you need to have that yeast. that's actually the food that the grindle worms, I'm not grindle worms. I usually do cat food with grindle worms in like a dirt substrate. But the banana worms and Walter worms and micro worms, they need yeast, a sprinkle of yeast in there. And I've had these cultures for a week now, and I feel like they're just fermenting, and I'm getting water around the edges, which isn't good. And I feel like they're just crashing on me. So I'm a little frustrated with that. I should be making content about it, but I'm just so busy trying to deal with it. So I've been using powdered oatmeal, adding some powdered oatmeal to that to kind of thicken it up. That was some advice that was given to me to, if you are using old-fashioned oats and it does get a little bit watery after a little bit, you can go ahead and sprinkle some more powdered oatmeal, like powdered baby oatmeal. Powder that on top, mix it in a little bit to absorb that extra little bit of water content. Because if it is too watery, the culture will crash. So it's either that or I'm getting like, yeast that just wants to grow on the surface. Anyways, very frustrated with that. At least I have no problem with with the rearing up baby brine shrimp. So I have 2 baby brine shrimp hatcheries, and I will be feeding these Apistogramma rubellianus fry lots of baby brine shrimp. So let me go ahead and check out the chat. I know I'm supposed to be talking, but I feel like I'm talking a lot. I'm trying to maybe I was on the phone before this, and I feel like my throat is already done for the day. Just catching up with family because trying to get ready for the holidays. I'm going to be going to Memphis after Christmas. From the 27th to the 2nd, I'll be in Memphis, Tennessee. So I'm trying to film a bunch of extra content so I have stuff to come up while I'm gone. And I'm also trying to line up some stuff like hitting a fish store while I'm there so I can do a little fish store tour maybe. Something like that. Maybe hang out with a fish club. Just be a guest and come to a fish club meeting if there happens to be something at the end of the month of December. We'll see about that. Yeah, I keep adding more. I'm adding the powdered oatmeal to help thicken it up so that it doesn't get too watery. Greg Jones, how are you? Good to see you up here in the chat. It's good to see you here. I got all kinds of goodies from Greg Jones. I got all kinds of goodies. Hooked me up with a little box, a little Christmas box. Cat, you are really needy right now. But I don't even know what these are. I mean, I know what they are. They're seed pods, but I don't know exactly what plant they are from, what tree. But I got some awesome dried botanicals, which I'm going to be using. Kind of using them to help breed the Apistogramma fry. Seems that their favorite thing and like the best thing right now for the Apistogramma fry are coconuts. Coconuts with a little hole in them. It makes a perfect cave for the Apistos. I'm loving it. So he sent me a whole bunch of coconuts. Even though I live in the Caribbean, it's not that easy to find them just like this, where they got a perfect one little hole and they're completely cleaned out of coconut and ready to rock and roll. This makes life so much easier, even if you live right here in the middle of the Caribbean where they're going to fall on your head. It's just better. It's just so much easier for me. So these are really awesome. I got some of those in. This is all from My Aquarium Box, from Greg Jones over at My Aquarium Box. Casuarina, I believe the pronunciation is. Anyways, they're little pine cones, Casuarina cones, which are kind of like the alder cones. It doesn't want to focus because I have it off of autofocus. That makes sense. Anyways, these are really nice. I've already dumped a bunch of those in a couple of my different tanks. These are nice as well. These might work as like a little cave for the Apistogramma. The opening is a little bit bigger. I find that they really do like, the Apistogrammas love the coconuts. They totally love the coconuts because they have a perfect little protective cave and they can stand right in front of that little hole and completely guard it. It's like perfect size hole for a dwarf cichlid. And they can totally guard their little fort there and keep anything from coming in and out of it. And it's also really hard for other fish. Yeah, it's hard for other fish to get in there once it's being guarded and protected. So I'm really stoked about all that. If you guys don't know about My Aquarium Box, which I'm sure most of you do know about the My Aquarium Box, which is a subscription box that you can get monthly. It's a really cool thing. I'm gonna try to go ahead. I have mods in here, but nobody that I know that normally does codes and stuff for me and puts links so much. Daryl Dimmer does. But I think it's M-A... I guess that's right. I keep getting it wrong, I feel like. This should be the code, MABJH. It's the only company that I'm at all any bit affiliated with, just because I really believe in the product and what they put out there. And it's just really good stuff. I get the box every month. It's like a Christmas present every month. I love it. It's the closest I come to doing any kind of commercials here on the platform at all. And I do have a code though to give you $5 off your first My Aquarium box. If you haven't tried it, it's definitely worth trying. I promise you, you will enjoy it. So it's MABJH. That's my code, just so you guys know. I really do love it. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Christmas present every month, and there's like 4 or 5 presents in there, and you don't know what they are. That's the nice thing. It's a little surprise. You can shake it on the way home and guess what's in there. Sometimes they're heavier than others, and that's really exciting. Oh, let's see. K-Town Reefers, how are you? Good to see you here. Simply Fish Life. Welcome to this chat on a wonderful Sunday afternoon. I don't know. I'm just getting excited for the holidays because I am going to be traveling. That's going to be fun. It'll definitely be fun to get out of town for a little bit. I've also been planning on Aquashella Dallas, which will be March 30th and 31st, right? The 30th and the 31st of March, right at the end of March. I'm going to be flying on the 29th. Get to cool out, relax, unpack, get ready. Next morning, go in deep, hit the Aquashella. So 30th and the 31st, that weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I've been tempted to stay an extra day because there's a talk of a few people, Coral Reefer 12G, which is one of the founders of Aquashella, along with Fritz Mardell, Sean over there with Fritz Mardell. They're pretty much the founders of Aquashella. So Aquashella is going to be kind of a cool thing. There's already been one in Chicago this last year, but because it's created by a YouTube content creator, it kind of is almost kind of tailored to YouTubers a little bit. It's much more of a fun event. It's kind of like almost like an EDC show, but for fish keeping. It's gonna be fun. It's considered to be more of a fish keeping festival, an aquatic festival, not so much a corporate trade show kind of event. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. But I go off into tangents. My thing was on Monday, it looks like a lot of people are going to be going to the Dallas Aquarium, and I was really tempted to do that. Otherwise, on Monday, I'd be flying out. So I'm tempted to stay one more day just so that I can hang out with all the cool people and go to the I don't know who all is going to be there, but there's a handful of fish tubers that will be heading their way over there. So I'd like to go along with that on that field trip. That would be fun. So that's something I'm thinking about. But I did already reserve my room. So Monday night, if I do stay for Monday night, I'm going to have to find a couch to surf on for Monday night because I do not have a room reserved. I just wanted to get some reservations in there because I like to be at the hotel right there at the convention center, just so that, you know, it's a hop, skip, a jump away, and you can run back to your room if you want to change, cool out, take a nap. You know, if you buy something, you can go drop it off in the room and come back. I've always liked to be in the hotel at the convention center, or the one that, you know, the official hotel of the convention. It just makes everything smoother. So let's see, who else do we have up in here? Maret, how are you? Joel Aquariums, welcome to the chat. Yeah, I will be trying. I might go to Chicago too. I mean, but Dallas is the first one. It's the first time in Dallas, and you know, we'll start there and we'll see how it goes. See how I enjoy it. See how fun it is. Lisa's Aquatics, what's up? Good to see you here. Good afternoon to you as well. So I'm rambling on. Let's go ahead. What do I want to do first? What do you guys want to do first? I want to like make you guys hold out on my baby fish. I want you to hold out on my fry. So real quick, I want to go ahead and I'm not going to hear the audio. I don't believe I'm going to hear the audio, and I'm sure you will. Hopefully it won't be too loud. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys check out this video. I did post it on my community tab, but just want to throw this in here for the fun of it, because most people aren't going to see it otherwise, because I'm really not it's not my video so much. It was really created for another company, and so it was just fun. I definitely put a little bit of time and energy into it. I felt like it was a creative little piece. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys real quick. So watch this video, and after that, we'll come back, and then I will tease you guys for a second, and we're going to go ahead and show you guys my Pistogramma rubelliniatus fry that are in the other room. The really, really, really close camera. So it's pretty cool. Sir Rambalot. Thank you, Priscilla. You're so sweet. All right, let's go ahead and check this video out real quick. Just let me know if there's audio. All right, that was a quick little minute and 17-second piece there. That's exotic aquatics. How did what is it again? Exotic aquatics, exotic aquatic with no S. And they are in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They're one of the oldest fish stores in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They do saltwater and freshwater, obviously, as you can see from the video, and they have a huge selection of products and a pretty, it's a medium-sized space, but they've got a lot of good stuff crammed into there. They also sell, I know, right, a little bit of fish porn. I probably shouldn't use that word. Is that going to get me demonetized? Whew, watch out. I got to watch out on the words. Use the proper vocabulary up in here. Anyways, they even sell RODI water, salt water, and what was the other one? There's just regular, I don't know, there was 3 different kinds of water. I don't know why I can't think of what the third one was. RODI, salt water. Oh, they have RODI water, and then they have man-made salt water with RODI water, and then they actually get a truck that brings them in actual marine salt water from the ocean. So they have 3 different kinds of water available for sale there as well. That was pretty cool. Let's see. Water Wizard, how are you? Good to see you up in here. Roma Aquatics, what is up, Chris? How are you? Let's see. Who else do we have? Daniel, good to see you in here. Leona again. I want to plant a tank. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Abracadabra. Oh boy. Let's see. What are we gonna do? Let's go ahead. We got a pretty chill chat. I guess it's with the holidays. I mean, not that I'm complaining, but I'm used to having a few more people up in here. I know it has something to do with me not properly promoting this with the setting that event for the wrong day. We probably threw some people off, that's for sure. Definitely probably messed it up a little bit. Learning to fish keep, how are you? Good to see you here. So we're gonna go ahead and switch over real quick and check out these guys. Now this is live right over in the other room. This seems a little blue because there is a little hint of methylene blue in this water, just a tiny bit, not even a full dosage. Now you can see the little tiny banana worms in the at the bottom there hanging out. There was definitely more, so they're eating them. Now this is the first day that these fry are even acting like free swimmers at all. I've definitely noticed them eating some of these worms, so I know they are definitely eating them. Um, so that makes me feel good too. But they've been consuming their yolk sac right up until about yesterday, and they're just finally that yolk sac is really shrinking up and disappearing. They look like little miniature, little microscopic pea puffers right now. But I haven't even seen them this well, because this camera really gets it nice and close. It's almost putting a microscope on them. So this is the closest. This is the best I've seen them myself. So it's nice to see them with their finnage, growing out, and the fact that they are truly swimming around just a little bit. But they're still learning how to swim. There's one flipped over on its back, still just can't get it straight just yet. Plus, they got to get rid of that egg yolk, that yolk sac to kind of balance out properly. Otherwise, they just can't swim properly. Plus, they're like little babies. They're like little infants that are just learning how to walk. So this is like their first day of learning how to swim. And they're getting it down. They're getting it down. Yesterday there was like one or two that were trying to free swim. Today they're all really trying to free swim, even though like you see that one that's still upside down, just because that you can see that yolk sac is still pretty prevalent on that one, and it's just affecting their the ability to swim upright. But they're getting there. Maybe we see one munch on a worm here or something like that. Anyways, let's see. Any questions? Any questions at all? Let me go ahead. I see one question. I'm trying to keep a plant in a tank, but my plants always end up floating. What am I doing wrong? I don't know what kind of substrate that you are using. There's a couple of different things you can do. You can take a little bit of string and tie the plant around a tiny little rock that help keep it tied down. Honestly, the fish, depending on what fish you're keeping, the fish could be just uprooting those plants. But a good substrate, if the substrate is deep enough, you should be able to use a pair of tweezers, something like that, and get that without damaging the plant too much. Then you can get that plant down into the substrate well enough. Once it starts to root a little bit, if they're just cuttings and they don't really have any roots yet, that could be part of it as well, because there's no roots to really anchor it. But it's just a matter of time, just a little bit of patience. But I'm sure there's a couple of different variables there that could be affecting it. Sometimes, just depending on what kind of fish you have, they might just be uprooting them like nightly, on you. Pamela Fox, 39 watching and 15 thumbs up. Oh, it's all good. It's nice to see you guys in here either way. It's nice to have everybody here hanging out. Like I said before, this is my fish club. This is my weekly fish meeting. So I just appreciate having a chance to just ramble on about fish keeping just a little bit, answer some questions, and hang out. Most people that know me here, the last thing they want to hear about is fish. You know what I mean? They're like, "Are you talking about fish again? Are you talking about YouTube?" Nobody wants to hear about it. Anyways, so I have to kind of put the filter on just a little bit. I'm sure some of you out there know that feeling. Yeah, those worms are all gonna be lunch. They should be, though we're gonna work on them. Like I said, not all of those fry are really ready for live food just yet. Some of them definitely are, and they're swimming a little bit better. And I have noticed, especially since I've had this close-up camera, I have watched a couple of them just munch down some worms. So they're definitely, some of them are eating them. So that's nice to know. But there's a long process here. It's gonna take some time. I'm looking at about 6 months, good 6 months, 5 to 6 months here on these guys. Right, Leona? I do have my serial stalkers, my haters. My haters, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? I'm not too worried about it. It counts just the same, and it makes me. It's good. It's all good. I laugh at it. I enjoy it. I got the most intense negative comment, like the most intense I've ever had the other day, and I was rolling on the floor laughing. I can't even remember what video it was on, but it was a paragraph. This person handed it to me. I think it was one of my fish collecting videos from Peru. Oh my, this person, I think it was a female from Germany, I believe. And ooh, she gave it to me. It was pretty intense, but I laughed at it, man. What are you gonna do? I just laughed that someone had enough time in their day to write a paragraph, and it just a negative, just aggressive paragraph. You know, if you got that much time to write to me, then that's great. I take it as a compliment, honestly. Let's see. I have not, if you're asking me that question, I have not had an experience with tiger endlers. I have been eyeing Lucas Brett's tiger endlers. I would be into that. I've also been talking to Priscilla about doing a trade or something with some of her tiger endler offspring, which she got from Lucas Brett's originally. That's something I'm looking at in the future here. That would be really, really cool. We'll see. We'll get there. I have 4 more aquariums I just purchased. That's some other news of mine. I have 4 more 10-gallon aquariums that I've ordered, and they will be in this week or next week. I'm gonna have to collect them one way or the other. They might get delivered to me if I'm lucky. We'll see how that one goes, but I do have that going on. So I'm gonna put them on the rack in the bedroom. I'm sorry, in the kitchen area, and add them to the rack that I have going now. I don't know what's going to go on in those for sure. That's the nice thing, is like buying more tanks than you know that you need. And now I at least I'll have 2 or 3 to like come up with new projects with. I do have to work on my, I do have an Endler program, not Tiger Endler, but I do have an Endler program that I've got going on in the other room. 2 big grow out tubs. Need to go in there and condense it down to about 15 or so, and get rid of the rest. I have about 200 plus endlers, so I'll have to see where that goes. Pamela's asking, what are the babies? These are Apistogramma rubra-lineatus. These are babies from wild-caught Apistogramma rubra-lineatus, which are in this 29-gallon bow-face tank right here behind me on the other side of my shoulder. Those fish were collected by me and Dean Tweedell, Dwayne Kitchell, and Corey McElroy in Peru earlier this year, in the Madre de Dios River Basin in northern Peru, in cold water streams and creeks up there. So it's really nice to have these fish. It's nice that they are offspring from wild-caught Peruvian fish. There's a nice dwarf cichlid. It's not like super pretty, you know, just totally stunning, but then again, I like fish. That's not all about that. There's definitely some pretty things about this fish. Some nice blue striping on the gill plate. They have some nice bands on them, and a little stripe of blue on their top fin and stuff like that. So there's definitely, I think they're pretty in their own right. They definitely have some beauty to them. So I don't know. It's also kind of, they're nice just because I collected them. So there is that little bit of there's a little bit of that as well. So I don't plan on keeping most of these fry. I'm gonna raise them up, and I want to trade back and forth with Dean Tweedell, because he also has a group of these from our collection, from the same collection point. So I want to go ahead, just to keep the genetics nice and clean, I want to go ahead and maybe keep a male and female or 2, maybe 3 or 4 fish, and then send him, 3 or 4 or 5 of them as well, just so that he can, breed with them, just to mix things up, so we can both be mixing things up a little bit genetically, and keep the genetics clean and fresh, Yeah, when it gets warmer, it's on. I'll tell you that because for me, it's really difficult to ship to the States right now. If I put a heat pack in something now, by the time it gets there, they might be dead because they're going to cook for the first 2 days until they leave the tropics and leave Puerto Rico and get to the States. Then by the time they get there, the heat pack will start to be fizzling out, and that's when they're going to need the heat pack. So I'm just going to try to hold off as best as I can until spring, and then I will be shipping all kinds of things. I have a few people that are getting some wild guppies from me that I've collected. These guys might be big enough to be shipping as well. I might be shipping some of these off to a few different people. Priscilla, if you're interested in some of these, you can have some of these as well. They're pretty sweet. I would mix them up so you don't, I would mix them up with some of the others that I have here so that you have not breeding brothers and sisters. That's the other half of it. Just don't really want to be inbreeding them at all or trying to line breed these. They're wild caught. I want to keep them wild and keep them clean. Let's see. What happened to my Synodontis? Dennis, that's great. That is funny. I mean, not funny, but that's interesting because it's been so long since that Synodontis oopterus. I feel like it's been a long time. That Synodontis is in a 2,000-gallon pond with waterfall at a friend's house at this really nice mansion. And all of the koi died since the hurricane, and I kind of talked them out of koi since it's too warm here to really have koi. I'm trying to talk them into tropical fish that just should thrive. I did put a lot of guppies, a lot of my guppy coals and whatnot. I threw them into there, as well as the Synodontis. There's a video on that when I added them. So the Synodontis is in that 2,000-gallon pond right now, and I haven't seen it recently. I'm pretty sure it's there. Something might have happened to him, but I'm pretty sure he's down there at the bottom. They do feed the pond well, so I'm sure he's getting some good food one way or the other. But I would like to go. I'm almost tempted because he should be huge within a 2,000-gallon aquarium. Synodontis oopterus is one of the largest of the catfish family and is known as the upside down catfish or the featherfin squeaker, and it's really pretty fish. I do miss him. I definitely do miss him a lot. And his name was Peanut, by the way, Peanut. So Peanut should be doing good. I'd love to go and see him, and I pray that he's like 12 inches by the next time I see him. Some big fat catfish in a 2,000-gallon pond. 2,000 gallons really not that much. I mean, it's a good chunk of water, but it's not. It's definitely enough for a Synodontis. I'd be tempted to. I'm really interested to know how big he is. Let's see. Any other questions? I'm just chilling out. What other plans do I have? The water here, Don Gallagher is asking me the water parameters here. It's very hard water, so it obviously has a high pH. It's definitely pretty high KH/GH, and the pH is definitely up there, 8.2 for the water for like my guppies. The wild guppies that I collect, they're in water that's about 8.2. The TDS is like 800-900. Sometimes it's over 1,000 parts per million. I'm just scrolling through the chat looking for any cool questions or anything like that. These K-Town Reefer, these Apistogramma rubellinatus, they hatched over a week ago. I'd say they hatched about 8 days ago. They hatched into wigglers. I collected them from the mother after they were wigglers. I could see that in the cave that she was starting to eat some of them, At least it looked like she was eating them. She could have been just picking them up and moving them around. I wasn't sure. But it looked like the numbers were dropping and that she was eating them, and I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to at least get one batch out of these guys to work with, just to thicken up the population and have something to some fish to breed back with the other ones. And so I went ahead and just pulled these fry from the cave and figured I would just deal with them, make sure that I get a good survival rate out of them, and get them going on some really, really healthy food more easily in their own little aquarium. So they're going to get lots of good, healthy food. They're going to get nice and fat and nice and healthy pretty quick. They do look like little pea puffers, though, right now. It's pretty crazy. They're cute. You could even see the bands. They already have those bands, the Apisto bands on them, the striping. Do I use CO2 in any of my aquariums? I do not. I do have a CO2 kit. If I was going to use it, it's going to go on this tank. I've had CO2 on this before as well. It's going to go here. I just need to get over to St. Thomas so that I can go ahead and charge up my tanks. I have 2 CO2 tanks that need to be charged up for my system, but I'm trying to come up with a plan so that I can regularly fill up those tanks, because if I start doing CO2, I want it to be very consistent. That's one thing when you're doing something like CO2, you want consistency. Even when you're dosing fertilizers, if you're really going to start dosing fertilizers, you want to be very consistent about your dosing regimen, just to keep the plants healthy, because as soon as you stop doing that, you're going to throw everything out of balance and out of whack. If you just a sudden stop of CO2 or of fertilizers that you've been doing, every water change. So I currently don't even I do have fertilizers. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of fertilizer in this tank that's got like 18 different species of plants in that. That's probably my most heavily planted aquarium. Oh, Barbara Jackson made it. Good to see you here, Barbara. Welcome to the chat. Just chilling. These are my Rubra fry, Pistogramma Rubra. Really, really happy with them. Excited for them. Oh, that one can go. Where'd it go? It disappeared. That one was okay. Yeah, someone opened that one up. Yeah, that's totally fine. Let's see. Any other questions? I'm just chilling. I'm already looking at the clock. It's like time is flying by today. Totally flying by. Oh, I just saw one eat one. I just saw a worm get gobbled up right there by that one there in the middle. Some of these guys are still on their back. They're just not quite ready yet. They still have some of that yolk sac to consume. But it's like half and half, so I just wanted to make sure that I get a little bit of microworms in that aquarium. They're not actually microworms. Someone was asking if they're microworms. These are actually banana worms. They're all pretty much the same thing. They're just different sizes. Banana worms are going to be the smallest. And then I also have Walter worms, and then microworms as well. So I have 3 different sizes of microscopic worms, and then I also have my baby brine shrimp, which I'm setting up. I had some going already just to kind of get in the routine, and I've been feeding them to all the fish. But I'm going to go ahead and set up a couple of new batches. I have 2. I've got the trays. I got the cat sleeping on my lap, or I would get up right now and show you one of them. They're made by Hobby brand. It's the little tray, the little round tray. I really do like that. Now, if you only have like 1 or 2 tanks, if you're just trying to feed a little bit of fry or a little bit of baby brine shrimp, those trays are perfect. They're going to be perfect. But I always want to have something ready, so I ordered 2 of those trays. I have 2, so I can have 1 batch that I'm feeding from, and halfway through that batch, I start the second one, and I just rotate back and forth from one to the other, and I always have just enough baby brine shrimp for these fry right here, and any, and if there's anything left over, there's plenty of fish in this in my tanks to take care of that. How am I keeping the banana worms? I'm keeping the banana worms, Walter worms, and micro worms all the same way. I'm following a technique that someone else has shared with me. I always use powdered baby oatmeal food or whatever, baby oatmeal, powdered baby oatmeal for babies, for infants or whatever. Always use that before, and I would leave the yeast out because I felt like the yeast made the culture crash a lot faster and gave the opportunity for other kinds of things to be introduced, other funguses and stuff like that, or molds to take a hold and end up with a crashing the deal. So I've always just used the baby oatmeal alone. But this technique here, what I'm doing is old-fashioned oats, and I'm boiling the oats first and creating a nice thick consistency in the end. So it's not really watery. You don't want the water is is also gonna help to crash a culture. So I'm using the old-fashioned oats. If there is any bit of water in the culture over 2 weeks or a month that I keep that culture, I will sprinkle a little bit. I will sprinkle a little bit of that powdered oatmeal just to help absorb any of that standing water, any water content like that. And then I'm sprinkling just a little pinch of yeast, of active yeast into each culture every day or two, and just to help feed them. But that's kind of where I'm going with it right now. They don't look totally healthy as far as I'm concerned. I really feel like the yeast can, I don't know. I really don't like putting the yeast in there. But I've been told, so I don't know if there's arguments on this or not. I was told that it's the yeast that they're actually eating, that the oats just acts as a substrate. They really don't consume the oats. Now, I don't know about that because I've kept cultures that they were living off of something. They had to be eating the oatmeal because there wasn't any yeast in there. And I know other people that do not use the yeast because they claim that it makes the culture crash easier. So, is Grim here? Where do I see him? Under what name? I'm missing it. Where are we at? And there's all Oddball Aquatics. That's who it was. Oddball Aquatics. You just hit 1,000 subs, didn't you? Congratulations on that. Congratulations on 1,000 subs. That's for sure. It's good to see people growing. Oh, my mouse is really being a problem. So much fun. I got something sticky on my mouse. Just trying to confirm that. Yeah, 1,032 subs. Congratulations on hitting 1,000 subs. Oh no, you're at 1,045 subs. Very good. Really good. Congratulations. Yeah. Let's see. What? You want to go somewhere, Cat? I would love it if you found another home for my live stream, so I don't have you right here on in my lap. Anyways, I heard, okay, Barbara Jackson says, I heard that the bacteria that eats the yeast, that eats the oatmeal. I heard it's the bacteria that eats the yeast, eats the oatmeal. So maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I prefer not putting the yeast in there because I just really feel like my cultures are crashing, and they were just sent to me, and it's really frustrating because I've had cultures last for a long time and they're acting funny. I think I even lost my microworm culture is acting really odd. And the microworms are actually the biggest of the three. There's the banana worms, Walter worms, and microworms. There's also some other worms that I'm looking at getting eventually. I like my grindle worms, which I like to feed like cat food or dog food and a little bit of substrate, and those are really nice. They're also really high in fat. Most worms are going to be high, have a high fat content, so you don't want to just strictly feed worms. It's nice to have them there, but I definitely like to just have them there to mix up with the baby brine shrimp, because the baby brine shrimp are going to be high in protein. You don't want to give them just all protein or all fat. It's just a nice little mix of them all. So it's just, to me, the key is just changing it up, giving them a diversified diet of microworms, Walter worms, banana worms, baby brine shrimp. That's really, you know, and as they get a little bit older, then I'll play with the powdered food. I do have powdered food, but I really don't want to give them powdered food as any of their first foods. That's for sure. Right? And I'm not even, I feel really lucky to get the cultures that I got because they're very well packaged. I'm not good at that kind of stuff just yet. On kind of, wouldn't even be able to send anybody a culture right now because definitely takes a little bit of work to package a culture like that properly so that it doesn't like leak and you don't have a problem, because those microworms, those worms will go right through a Ziploc bag. Like not, they'll go through the zipper of the Ziploc bag for sure, and leak. You kind of have to like triple bag them, and then you could still have a little bit of a leak because those worms will find a way. Let's see, what else do we got? Barbara Jackson, well, there's Dawn said, right, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I know. I think I'm going to take a little culture of them and make a next culture and do some tests and keep some with yeast and some without yeast. Do a couple of different things, and that's a whole video there too, right? Just let's do some tests in different ways. And here's Amber, Big City Beta. I'm giving them a tiny little sprinkle. I haven't been like putting a lot of yeast in there. Just a tiny little sprinkle in my hand, you know, with my fingertip, like literally, like I could probably count the granules that I'm putting in there. And I'm doing that every day or every other day, but that's about it. Definitely haven't been doing it every day. I thought you said every day. Maybe you said once a week, but I haven't been trying to overfeed them at all. I feel like more than anything, the problem has been that I'm coming up with standing water no matter what I do. So I've just been making sure that if I do see any standing water in there somehow, from, you know, it's like the worms seem to separate the substrate and create some water on their own just as they eat things up. It starts to happen. It starts to separate, or you know, the solids seem to settle just a little bit, and you get a little bit of water around the edge of the container. And I'm just making sure that I'm using some powdered oatmeal to soak that up. I thought you said once a week, or like once every other day actually, but that should be fine. Either way, I don't know what's going on too with, like, there seems to be a little bit of a dryness on the surface of the substrate. No matter what I do, I don't have very many holes. I actually went a couple of days without even you know, before I put the holes in there, I just wanted to hold in some moisture there. So like the first 2 days I didn't have any holes popped in it, and then I went ahead and popped holes in it. But with or without the holes, it seems like they get a little layer on the surface of kind of like not a shell, but not very moist. And it seems, I don't know if that's the yeast kind of like making a little bit of stuff on the surface. E-Money Cichlids, I don't know what he was saying there, but he got flagged for using the word hate, I guess. I've been trying to watch these fry just a little bit to see if they munch on some of these. They were a little bit ago. I've definitely noticed the population of guys disappearing slowly. But it's kind of hard sometimes to catch them doing their thing. I have watched a couple of them, like literally, you know, munch them up and chew them up just a little bit, and that just makes me feel good inside when I see them eating something. But like I say, and this is just like the first day. 54 Punchy, how are you, Pamela? Good to see you in here. Yeah, that's how I've been doing it. I just sprinkle it on the top. I'm not sure. I'll just keep it going. I'm not gonna put any more food in there, obviously. I've only fed them, honestly, since I've had them. I probably only fed them maybe. I've only put a sprinkle of yeast 3 times since I've had them in their own containers. But yeah, these guys just like little. They look like little pea puffers. They're so cute, so cute. But literally today is the first day of them kind of. Well, yesterday there was probably like 4 or 5 that were free swimming on their own, and there's still a few that are not. You can tell that there's still a little bit imbalanced because there's still got a bit of yolk going on that they're consuming still. But at least about 10 of them or so are totally free swimming around above this area and coming down to the bottom and resting for a little bit. So I just wanted to make sure I get like a little hint, just the tiniest little bit of microworms in there so that they have an option. But at the end of the evening, anything that's not in there, I'm going to try to go in there with a little eyedropper like I've done before to clean the space up. And I'll just kind of vacuum up as much as I can. I don't want to cause a problem, have anything sitting, any leftover worms for the next day that might die and, you know, get fungus or something like that. Want to keep it nice and clean. Oh, he's talking about. Is E-Money talking about detritus worms? Maybe. I've got a video on detritus worms. Greg Jones is talking about building a fully automated baby brine shrimp hatchery. That seems interesting. That sounds like a good DIY challenge. That is interesting. I tried to create something one time with some plastic, you know, water bottles, and I had some hoses coming off of them where I could run it through and filter it and everything. But things could easily get clogged up, you know, depending on the size hoses that you're using. If you can't use, you definitely can't get away with airline hosing because they'll clog up pretty easy. Chris from Multi-Tank Addiction, how are you? Good to see you here. Cool, Chris. I look forward to seeing that video. Sounds like a good one. Where I'm at? I'm at 3:01. I'm supposed to be out of here. I'm supposed to be off. I don't know who's going next. I don't know if there is someone streaming at 3 o'clock. I know that next week there is a plan. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything or not. I've been trying to promote them because I want it to happen so badly. I'm trying to put a little fire under there, you know what. But some of the girls in the beta community have been talking about doing a beta sorority live stream, and it's probably going to take place at like 3 o'clock is what was a rumor that I heard was the and the grapevine there was 3 o'clock. Well, not 3 o'clock, sorry, 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock my time right now, but 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. They were going to go ahead and do their stream. I think it's going to start next weekend. Is what I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be next Sunday. Is probably going to be the first one. I'm hoping for it. I'm rooting for it. I like it to happen. Seems like a really cool concept. You know, get a all girls live stream dedicated to domesticated and wild betas. That would be really nice. I definitely look forward to hanging out in that stream after my stream. I don't know if the stream today. I didn't get a notification and I missed it because I was filming. I was filming a video on Levamisol that'll be coming out, I guess, this next week. I don't know. I'm just trying to cram out a whole bunch of content and get it all uploaded and have it all lined up for the holidays so that I can kind of enjoy holidays with my family. I'm going to be going to the States to go see my little nephew, and I just plan on spending a lot of time with a cool little 3.5-year-old that's awesome. I'm sorry, 3-year-old that's super awesome. So I definitely look forward to that, and I don't want to be distracted with YouTube too much. I will do a live stream probably on the Sunday afternoon, especially if I can make it to a fish store. But I will do regular stream as usual. Well, that weekend, which would be the last weekend of the month of December. And the kitty cat just wants to be here and be part of this. She just won't leave me be. What are you doing, stinky poo-poo butt? What are you doing? She just wants to sleep on me. All right, you guys. It's really good to see you all in here. Will Simply Beta be part of that? Yes, as far as I know. I should probably not assume or be saying too much about it because it's not my thing, and I don't know for sure when or if it's going to happen for sure. But like I said, I've just been trying to promote it because I'd like it to see it happen. I really think it would be a cool thing. But we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely see how that goes. Anyways, it's really good to see you guys all here. I appreciate all of y'all hanging out. Like I said before, you guys, you are my fish club. You know, living on this little island in the Caribbean, I don't get much for community at all here locally. So you guys are my people. You guys are my fish keeping friends. And I just appreciate all of your support. All of you that like, share, and comment on my videos. It means so much to me. And you know, I appreciate all of you out there that are making positive and educational content as well. You other content creators that I see here in the chat, I appreciate all of your content as well. And yeah, I hope the rest of you guys, I hope you all have an awesome Sunday. Definitely try to get outside. Don't spend the day on the computer or on your mobile device. Go outside and play. Enjoy the sunset. I don't know what time it is for you guys, but you guys still have plenty of time. Go play. Go outside. Be with your family and your kids if you got some. And just enjoy this Sunday before the grueling Monday begins. The grueling week begins. So I hope you all have a good one. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate it all. Hope to see you guys next Sunday. And remember, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.